Long before the sparkling vampires and feuding fangs between brothers, there was the OG of vampires, a teenage blonde with the name of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This television series, the brainchild of creator Joss Whedon, not only changed the art of supernatural storytelling, but it also changed the art of wordplay within language. The creation of Buffyspeak redefined the lexicon within the supernatural drama realm through its combination of casual dialect with existing language patterns, which has left an innovative influence on modern English. So what exactly is Buffyspeak? This language is a type of Slayer slang practiced by the character of Buffy Summers and her heroic yet demonic array of friends, enemies, and, well, frenemies. As Aja Ramono explains, quote, Buffy the Vampire Slayer creates its own specific language of teen speak, called Buffyspeak, in which language itself gets manipulated and indicates smart but whimsical characters with inarticulate modes of expression and self-aware pop culture references, end quote. So how did Joss Whedon create it? To produce the language of Buffyspeak, Whedon chose to play or push the parameters, if you will, with existing language patterns that center around the use of jargon, functional shifts, the addition of suffixes, the use of syntax, the use of juxtaposition of casual language with dramatic expression, and as author of Slayer slang, Michael Adams denotes, the use of grammatically and phonologically complex lines of dialogue. So from here, let's take a look at each of the linguistic aspects of Buffy conlang. By the way, the reason it's sometimes referred to as conlang is because it is a constructed language. First, we have jargon. And the way Whedon demonstrates the use of jargon is similar to that of a profession. Buffyspeak incorporates jargon that is specific to the profession of a vampire slayer. For example, the terms slayer and watcher, which are both based on hierarchy of the character within the show, are words central to slaying. So by using these words within the description of the characters, this vampire slayer slang allows the followers of the Buffy series an inside understanding to the professional life of a slayer. This jargon also plays a role in the overall cult-like following of the show. Next, we look at functional shifts within the Buffyverse. Although Whedon manipulates different types of functional shifts throughout the show, the use of adjectives as nouns is dominant throughout the characters' dialogue. An example of this is within the phrases, love makes you do the wacky, and I was making with the funny, where we see the adjectives wacky and funny shift to the roles of nouns. By applying these shifts, a differentiation in typical speech pattern occurs. But more importantly, this shift appeals to the masses that engage within casual dialogue, which of course is how we talk when we're around our friends. Next, we look at the addition of suffixes, particularly the addition of age and the addition of y. Within the age addition, this practice is much like the derivative practices that we have seen throughout the history of language changes. For example, we have some dialogue, sorry I'm late, I had to do some unscheduled slayage. As Susan Mandela points out in the addition of y, some of these terms can be found in scenes with highly emotional content, as when the character of Xander describes Willow, another character within the show, as crayon breaky, in an attempt to bring her down from wanting to destroy the world. Also, many of the characters describe objects and emotions as thingy with a y suffix, instead of thing. Throughout the series, Whedon uses these suffixes in multiple ways to create many new meanings of words, thus basically cementing a conversion of teen speak. Now we're going to take a quick look at the rearrangement of syntax within the show's dialogue. For example, we have the phrase, how much the creepy is it that she's been spying on us? Not only do we see the syntax shift here, but we also see the addition of the suffix y to creep. This unique use of syntax creates the distinctness within the Buffy banter that the show is well known for. Of course, it also proves that within the Buffyverse, even language sentence structure will always take a backseat to surviving a vampire attack. Now looking at the use of juxtaposition of casual language with dramatic implication. In the episode titled Double Meat Palace, use your imagination here, Buffy explains, the beefy layer is definitely people, probably not the chickeny part, but who knows. Note the use of casual language, even though she is pretty much convinced that the double meat medley within the episode is possibly made up of people. The last aspect of Buffyspeak that we're looking at is the phonological and grammatical complexity of some of the dialogue between the characters. In the episode titled Him, Willow explains, "I've tried every anti-love spell I can find." Anya reciprocates by saying, "Even if you found the right one, Guy would probably just do an anti-love spell." And Willow, of course, says, "What?" Which proves that there can be confusion within the complex chatter of Buffy. However, loyal fans of the show somehow get it and understand the Slayer slang. Which brings us to the importance or overall influence of Buffyspeak. I'm sure some of you are asking, what's the big deal behind this old show that doesn't even film anymore? But the impact of Buffyspeak can be seen throughout the supernatural realm of pop culture. If you're a fan of the shows Charmed or Supergirl, then you're familiar with the fast-quipping and witty female heroine banter, originally introduced by Buffy. If you're a fan of the show The 100, you have probably noticed that they have created their own language. If you are a fan of the shows Supernatural or Vampire Diaries, you've noticed the dialogue basically revolves around supernatural jargon. So chances are you've been influenced by the Buffy cult. That's what Buffyspeak gives its followers. It's a language that fosters a sense of belonging to its speaker. So basically the overall purpose of Buffyspeak was to create content that packed a punch, was to change overall language, and of course, save the world from demons and vampires. As Michael Adams states, whether your culture is popular or elite, Buffy has influenced it. And because Buffy is so linguistically potent, its cultural influence amounts in part to influence on American speech.